What's up, everybody? Excuse me, you've been sitting here getting this set up for like 10 minutes, and all of a sudden I clear my throat. This is Billy from Neighborly Discourse with Billy and Steve. I have a reaction video here. So if you're listening to this on the podcast, go to YouTube, go to Rumble, check it out. I was going through YouTube when I came across this gender is fluid until you bring this up. So one of the videos we recently did, I put a hashtag gender or hashtag something, and I clicked it to see what our videos would be linked to, and it brought up this video. So it looked interesting. I watched the first 10, 15 seconds and figured, let me stop, watch it. It's 18 minutes long. Now, you guys know me. I'm not much for 18 minutes. That seems like a lifetime. I'll go as far as I can as to not do too much with this. But so this is a reaction video podcast. Listen to the podcast if you so choose. If you want to see the reaction, go to YouTube, go to Rumble. Links in the description, all that stuff the kids talk about. Like us, subscribe to us, share us, podcast, video, the whole nine. Social medias at @N_discourse. So let's see what we got here.
Atheist, there is no God.
No God at all?
No.
Nobody looking down saying this is right, this is wrong?
No. Your Bible is a collection of myths and untruths, and it's got murder and mayhem and all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Mark Spence. That guy doesn't believe in God or the Bible. Okay.
Why you doing me like that, bro?
We live in a very confused time. George Orwell said, the further a society drifts from the truth, the more it will hate those who proclaim it. And truth is considered hate speech to those who hate the truth.
You cut that out now, or you'll go home in an ambulance.
Yeah, that seems mildly inappropriate for a political discussion.
Could you imagine? Now, those of you who watch, it's a transgender man or woman, arm around Ben Shapiro, threatening violence. Imagine if the roles were reversed. One, if he was touching the transgender person and then threatened violence on them. Just think about that, because it should be the same across the board. People to people, if someone threatens violence on you, you should not be okay. And if you threaten violence on someone else, that should not be okay. Their political beliefs, their gender, their race should play nothing into it. So keep that in mind. Imagine if it was reversed. If he was threatening that person, the up in arms nonsense that would happen. So again, he's about to have his conversation, I believe, with the gender is fluid until you bring up this. So let's see what he has to say.
Do you think that women should have equal rights like that of men?
Of course they do.
Yeah.
I do. Obviously.
But I think that they already do.
Why? They're women.
I think women should run the world.
I mean, everyone should be treated fairly, no matter what.
You guys already have equal rights.
I think, we are from Slovenia. She's from Slovakia. And I think in Europe it's equal.
I like that. So it's of course.
You think in Europe it's equal, but it's not equal in America? Let's not get carried away, okay? There are some parts of Europe where, yeah, you're as equal as you are here in America, but there's the other large portion of Europe where you are just a woman. So keep that in mind, because I'm not talking Asia and Iran and China and places like that where they are just women. Europe isn't this utopia of equality either. Let's not get carried away. But here in America, yes, everybody is equal. The opportunity is equal. The will, the drive to get to the top, that is not. Let's not get carried away.
Of course, and it's obvious. Why is it of course and why is it obvious?
Well, they're human beings. We're all equal. And try to get my wife to say different.
How would you define a woman? What is a woman?
Opposite gender of us.
What is a man?
I don't think babies are their only purpose.
The difference is, of course, the body type.
Would you have a problem if I told you, John, that I identify as a woman?
No, I guess not.
No, go ahead. Doesn't make any difference to me.
What if I told you I identify as a black woman? Would you have a problem with that?
You need to change your skin, dude.
Now, why would I?
Hold on a second. He had no problem with him identifying as a woman, but I want to identify as a black woman. And his response is, you got to change your skin. Are you kidding me? What about the other part about changing your genetic makeup, your biology from a man to a woman? Skin, that's his go-to? Come on, bro.
I need to do that.
Yeah.
Well, because you're a white guy.
I mean, that's a far stretch, but I mean...
Now, why is that a far stretch? Would you have a problem if I...
Yeah, why is that a far stretch? A man to a woman, yeah, sure, no problem. But I want to identify as a black woman. Well, that's a far stretch. Are you kidding me right now?
I told you that I identify as a woman.
No, I don't mind.
I mean, like, if you want to go around saying that, sure, go right ahead.
What if I told you that I identify as a 12-year-old black woman?
If you believe it, like, believe it.
I don't know.
Am I a black woman?
If you believe it, yeah.
No,
We're
you're a
willing to
white guy. Look
destroy
at her.
common
She's
sense
lost.
in the name of not wanting to offend someone.
If you believe, I
Hold on,
would
let me play that
support.
back for a second because that's a good little point. Let me move my person here.
If you believe it, yeah.
We're willing to destroy common sense in the name of not wanting to offend someone.
If you believe, I would support you. I don't know.
But I also identify as your child. Would you give me some money, Brad?
You're not. I mean, I didn't give birth to you.
No.
Why not?
I mean, you're really not my child.
So words have meaning.
Yes, they do. Words,
Right?
words definitely do have meaning.
I could identify as a truck, but it doesn't mean it's true. Right?
You're right.
Do you think it's important for words to have meaning?
I would say yes.
If I'm in prison for robbing a bank, but I identify as someone who did it, should I be released immediately? Listen, don't be so open-minded that your brain falls out. It seems like every
Don't be so open-minded that your brain falls out. Because listen, what he's saying is true. You can say whatever you want, but words do have meaning. You robbed the bank. Yeah, but I identify as an innocent person. That is the exact same thing as saying you're a man, but I identify as a woman. All you are doing is saying it. So if we can't let the criminal go free because he identifies as innocent, how come we can let the man become a woman if they identify as such? Come on. Common sense, like I said, don't be so open-minded to where your brain falls out of your head. That's a great quote.
everyone is trying so hard to avoid the truth.
Describe what they look like. Male or female?
I don't want to make that assumption.
Skin color?
I don't want to be racist. I don't know what they believe they are.
Height?
Whatever they believe.
Thanks for wasting our time.
Man, that was perfect. So if you can see the screen, this guy's calling in for the for 911. Describe them: race, height, gender. I don't want to discriminate. I don't know what they identify as. I'm not sure what they think they are. Yeah, man, people have identifiers. You know, those who say, I don't see color, you're an idiot. You do see color. But are you racist? Are you a bigot? No. Like, Steve's a black guy. I sit next to a black guy when we do the show. I don't see black guy Steve. I see Steve. Stop, you can see color. You can identify, hey, I know this guy. He's got long hairs, tall. I don't know, the black dude. Oh, yeah. It's an identifier, big deal. All you're doing is usually to describe someone to get a point across. It's what you do with your words, because words do have meaning. That could be a problem. Don't be a jerk. It's pretty simple.
You start to have a little bit of problem if I said I identify as a black woman, because you say, well, that seems a little strange.
Well, I mean, I guess you're just adding more and more and more to it.
And what's wrong with adding more and more to it? Why can't I just keep on going?
I don't know.
In the last few months, we have seen a transgender female was celebrated for defeating female swimmers with breathtaking speeds, winning the NCAA Division I National Championship.
It's such nonsense. For all this stuff about, women's movement and women's sports and pushing women ahead, like, this literally screwed over women. It really did. You put a guy to swim against women who biologically men are stronger. It's not even a question. And this dude who got whacked by hundreds of men as a swimmer, was like ranked 432 or something, #1 against women. Come on, all because he grew his hair out. I have long hair. I'm not racing the kids in the park to be the fastest runner in the neighborhood.
People want us to accept them for the way they are, but they can't accept themselves for the way they are.
Great
and
point.
I say, most people think the concept of 100 genders is utter nonsense. Yeah. And if it takes me to say, on television, get away from this ridiculous control freakery stuff that no one's allowed to challenge it. If it's to me that says that, I'm going to say it.
If gender is fluid, then there's truly no difference between men and women.
So President Biden came along and he said, I'm not sure who I'm going to nominate. This was a while back, but I'm just going to make sure that the person is black and the person is a female. What do you think of that?
I mean, when it comes to like having an opening for a job or something, I guess it should be more about what qualifies you for the job versus exactly who you are.
What would have happened? Hold on, pause. Did that guy just say that it's more about your qualifications versus who you are. When the president did come out and say, I'm not sure who I'm looking for, but it must be a black woman, doesn't know the qualifications, but knows that's what it's going to be, like, that's a problem. And this guy here, we shouldn't be able to say that. Listen to that.
I'm not sure who I'm going to nominate. This was a while back, but I'm just going to make sure that the person is black and the person is a female. What do you think of that?
I mean, when it comes to like having an opening for a job or something, I guess it should be more about what qualifies you for the job versus exactly who you are.
What would have happened if he would have come along and said, I don't know who I'm going to nominate, but I'm just going to make sure that it's a white male. Blacks need not apply.
That would have been a mistake.
So he nominated a woman named Ketanji Brown Jackson. And she was asked the question, what is a woman?
Don't worry, I didn't miss that last one. I was just kind of watching. I'm trying not to cut too much here. But so Biden can say, I want to hire a black woman, no problem. When he asks these people, what if he says a white man, blacks need not apply? That's a problem. Why is it a problem? If you can do one for one, why can't you do it for the other? It's racist either way. Remember, if you are a human being, you are part of a race. You've been classified somehow to a race, usually by your skin color. I know I said usually, it's exactly by your skin color, but who knows who's watching and listening. So you can be discriminated against. You can experience racism. It is not a one-way street. So if you're going to allow Biden to say, oh, no, it's got to be a black woman, you can't be upset when someone says it's got to be a white man. It's the same thing. Don't give me the context, well, history this, and they know. No. A person goes to another person. I'm only going to hire this person based on their skin color and their gender. Are you okay with that? The answer should be no. And again, this Justice Ketanji Brown, or however you say her name, we're not hiring a cashier at McDonald's. This woman is being nominated, I believe, to the Supreme Court. She's not just a nobody. She should have qualifications other than being black and being a woman. That doesn't seem far-fetched, does it? She is going to be a very important person.
She said, I'm not a biologist.
That's a very good answer.
Is that a good answer? John, is that need not apply?
That would have been a mistake.
So he nominated a woman named Ketanji Brown Jackson. And she was asked the question, what is a woman? She said, I'm not a biologist.
That's a very good answer.
How is that a good answer?
Is that a good John, is that a good answer? That is. Because he's going to nominate a woman. However, she doesn't know what a woman is.
Yeah, so she should be there.
Provide a definition for the word woman.
First of all, again, you're being interviewed to be a Supreme Court justice, and the questions they're asking you, can you define what a woman is? This is something you ask a kindergartner. Do you know the difference between a boy and a girl? So you identify the bathroom so you don't wander into the wrong bathroom. A child, legitimately 3, 4, 5 years old, so you know where to go. You don't ask someone who's about to be appointed to the highest court in the land if they know what a woman is. Do you realize how stupid that is? Unbelievable.
Can I provide a definition? No.
Yeah.
I can't.
You can't?
These are the people running our country, bro.
Not in this context.
So
I'm not a biologist.
The first female black U.S. Supreme Court judge, not knowing how to define what a woman is. And yet she needs to interpret the law for the rest of us.
Thank you.
Do you think you need to be a biologist in order to determine whether or not somebody's a woman or be able to give a definition of what a woman is?
No.
Do you know what a woman is?
I'm not sure. Definitions are so fluid that
oh my God,
it's really hard to say.
Romans tells us, professing to be wise, they become fools. People are always learning, but they're never coming to the knowledge of the truth. And this is why Scripture is so important. Jesus said, sanctify them by your truth. Your word is truth.
So can I go back to that original premise? If I told you, John, I identify as a woman, as a female, you'd say, oh, okay, I don't really see that. I identify as a black female. You start to go, no, because there's truth.
You want to identify with that, and you can get through your life with that identification.
Can I identify as a police officer and arrest someone?
It probably wouldn't hold up.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you think it's okay for everything to just kind of change, where definitions are changing, that a woman can't identify as a toaster oven, or a guy wants to identify as three people, or?
There is a bit of ridiculousness going on, and there's extremists.
Consider for a moment, we fight for women's rights, but we can't even define what a woman is anymore. A woman is a...
Yeah. You fight for women's rights, but you can't define what a woman is. That's interesting. And what this guy John here is saying, there's some extremists. I would say a 17-year-old identifying as an 18-year-old to, get in to buy a cigarette or something, or a 20-year-old identifying as a 21-year-old to get beer, I would say that's a little bit crazy. And then the extremist would be the male, the 21-year-old man identifying as a woman to get free drinks and women's night. That would be extreme. They're saying that's the normal part, and the extremists are the ones who want to identify as toasters and trucks. No, the extreme is the one male trying to identify as a woman. The odd one is the 20-year-old identifying as 21 to get into to buy some beer or something. We're starting at crazy. We've had this argument before, not argument, the conversation. Steve and I about the book, I think from Knowles, Speechless or something like that. I could be getting it wrong. We are picking the wrong thing to argue, not how old you talk to a kid about gender identity is. You don't have that conversation about gender identity. You're a man or a woman. We're arguing the age. The problem is the conversation, not the age of when they have the conversation. So these people, we're starting already way too high. Come on, people. And listen, I'm not overly religious. You know that. But this guy's got some religion behind him, which is what I believe he's using to do this interview, to do this video.
People, or?
There is a bit of ridiculousness going on, and there's extremists.
Consider for a moment, we fight for women's rights, but we can't even define what a woman is anymore. A woman is a female with XX chromosomes. She is made in the image of God. She has intrinsic value and worth and deserving of honor, dignity, and respect.
How do you feel about abortion, about women inside the womb?
If the woman was raped and she wants to do it, I would say do it.
It's the mother's choice. You and I have nothing to say about what she does. It's her life.
I agree with that.
How do you feel about abortion?
Oh, man, this is rough. I don't know.
As we're talking about the U.S. Supreme Court, back in 1973, it was all men who decided a court case called Roe v. Wade. Right. And there wasn't one woman on there. If men don't get to have a say, should we now overturn Roe v. Wade? You said that all women should be able to have...
Now that's interesting because they're up in arms about someone leaked a document last night about where they're planning to lean on that. That's a conversation we'll have sometime this week. But yeah, so if a man shouldn't have a say in a woman's body, all men determined Roe versus Wade, which was a benefit to that thought. So should we go and overturn it because a man shouldn't have a right to talk about it? That's an excellent point. I didn't know that. See, guys, you learn something by watching things every now and then. Wow. All men decide a Roe versus Wade, but a man shouldn't decide what a woman does with her body. Oh, boy. I didn't see that coming.
And there wasn't one woman on there. If men don't get to have a say, should we now overturn Roe v. Wade? You said that all women should be able to have equal rights, that all women should be able to have a say, right, to contribute to a conversation. That would make sense, right?
Right.
Do you think a woman, a female inside the womb, should have equal say on whether or not she's aborted?
I don't know. This is all rough, sensitive stuff.
I think people have too many babies.
Listen,
John. We have no...
If you're watching the video, that dude in the red shirt, he looks like he's really trying to be thoughtful, and it looks like he believes the stuff that the left are talking about. But when asked specific questions, he truly looks lost. He looks like he's not really thought this through. It's like he says the quote unquote popular thing, but now a guy's breaking down individual possibilities, and he truly looks lost. He looks like, holy crap, I don't have an answer for these things. This guy here, this atheist here, he's answering, good for him. But the other guy looks like he's having like a crisis of conscience. Like he has not really thought this stuff through.
Conversation, that would make sense, right?
Right.
Do you think a woman, a female inside the womb, should have equal say on whether or not she's aborted?
I don't know. This is all rough, sensitive stuff.
I think people have too many babies. We have no kids, don't want them. I have a zillion nieces and nephews that are taken care of, overpopulating the world. But
So what do you think about the women, the females in the womb? Should they be able to have a say on whether or not they die? Truth be told, all of us could be a product of rape.
Yeah, well, that's a tricky question because the baby is inside. He cannot speak till he's like 3 years old. So
Do you believe that it is a baby in the womb?
I would say yes.
Do you think adoption is a good idea instead of maybe killing the child?
That's also a good part. It's like I say, whatever mother decides.
So when we think about if you don't have a uterus, you don't get to have a say about abortion. But at the same time, our culture says even though you don't have a uterus, you can be a female. So it seems like we're having a biological problem here. And do you believe that it is a human being in the womb?
yeah,
Yeah. All right, so answer this question then, John. It's okay to kill another human being in the womb when?
woman doesn't want it.
Okay.
I killed a lot of people in Vietnam, and they didn't get a say in it. If she wants to do that.
I mean, listen, you guys might hate me for this, but that's a very good point. The people I'm going to say they didn't have a say in it. They signed up for the war, so I assume they assumed the responsibility of possibly dying. But for him to just come out and say, well, it's okay to kill the baby as long as the mom says so. Words have meaning, like he's been saying. How do you phrase it? Hey, do you want the abortion? There's an issue. There's this, there's that. Okay, you can kill the baby. Like it's essentially the same thing. But words do have meaning, and how it's being said could change your mind.
Woman doesn't want it.
Okay.
I killed a lot of people in Vietnam, and they didn't get a say in it. If she wants to do that, I have no problem.
We're a nation that accepts pornography, but we hate abuse. We're a nation that doesn't believe in gender, but we fight for women's rights. Kindergarten teachers are getting upset that they can't teach about their sex life. We're a nation that believes that no child...
That's a good point, too. Again, we're halfway through the video. His point here, again, me and Steve bounce ideas off of each other. Open-minded, more perspective does benefit people at times. What he just said is accurate, that these people are upset that they can't discuss their gender, their lifestyle. Because I don't see a heterosexual school marm talking to their class about sexuality. I do see, you've seen these libs of TikTok and all these people, bright-colored hair, piercings all over their face. I'm gender fluid, call me Mix Smith, all this nonsense. They want to talk about their life. That's what it is. It's their sexuality. I'm a straight guy. I was a teacher for 12 years. I didn't talk any of my sexuality at all, nor did the teachers around us. We taught age-appropriate learning. Numbers, tying your shoe, letters, days of the week, that stuff. These kids don't know the ABCs unless you sing them in a song. They don't know numbers 1 through 10 unless they say them in a row. If you show them a 7, they're going to be like, huh? But they know 5, 6, 7, 8, but show them a 7, I don't know what that is. So they're supposed to know they like little boys or girls because they put on high heels and dress up. They want to be a girl now from a boy? Come on, just use your brain.
I have no problem.
We're a nation that accepts pornography, but we hate abuse. We're a nation that doesn't believe in gender, but we fight for women's rights. Kindergarten teachers are getting upset that they can't teach about their sex life. We're a nation that believes that no child should be left behind, but we've aborted over 61 million of them in the United States since 1973. And now we are questioning whether or not infanticide should be legal. As long as we teach children that it is okay to kill other children in the womb, then we will never stop a child from killing another child in the classroom. We are told that you can...
What do you guys think about that? If you're telling a kid it's okay to kill them here, a kid, again, they don't know any better. They'll kill a kid in real life, so to speak. A living and breathing, walking next to you human being. Well, my big sister did the tummy thing yesterday and killed the baby inside her. So, this baby here I didn't like, so I killed it. What's the difference? And then then here come all the crazy thoughts on why this kid is thinking this. I get what he's saying. Eliminate it. You won't have to get to that question. Now, again, you know Steve, 100% no abortion. Me, there's variations. I'm never going to change my mind on that. But again, if you have the black and white, yes, you can have it, no restrictions, or no, you cannot, I'm going to say no. But personally, in the society we live in, I'm all for the variations. Things do happen out of your control. But don't be upset when it's mainstream and kids start killing kids and say, well, you know, my mommy got an abortion yesterday and killed my little sister. I'm going to kill my big sister. It's crazy far-fetched, but is it? Is it that far-fetched?
You can believe whatever you want to believe as long as you believe exactly what the left believes. No wonder we are
You run that back, because that's a good point. You can believe what you want as long as it's what they believe.
Other child in the classroom. We are told that you can believe whatever you want to believe as long as you believe exactly what the left believes. No wonder we are so confused and divided. We are seeing the logical conclusion of what it looks like when we lie to our kids and tell them that they are nothing more than animals.
Do your spiritual beliefs have any bearing on what you believe or decisions that you make from a day-to-day basis? Or are you just kind of making a decision? What do you believe?
I believe in God.
Would you consider yourself to be a religious person?
No.
A spiritual person?
I'm a devout militant atheist. There is no God.
There's no God at all?
No.
Nobody looking down saying this is right?
Now, that sentence could have been delivered as, there's no God. I think throwing the F-bomb in there is kind of like a dig at the guy asking the questions. My opinion. Could just be how he speaks. I cuss when I talk. But time and place.
Right, this is wrong.
No.
I was down for this interview and everything, and now I'm just like, I don't know, it's a bit just personal now.
Yeah, right, no problem. Hey, I appreciate the talk though, Brad. All right, man, enjoyed the time while you're here. Would you consider yourself...
That guy left. That guy has never thought about anything this guy has ever said before. He's just taken all the mainstream nonsense and ran with it. This guy got inside that guy's head. Good job, because that guy never once thought about this stuff. You can tell, I said it earlier, in the look in his face, he was really thinking this, and he leaves halfway during the interview. Good for the guy asking the questions, and good for the guy who appears to be opening up his mind on some stuff. Oh, that was good. I like that. Good job on both parts.
Would you consider yourself to be a religious person?
No.
A spiritual person?
I'm a devout militant atheist. There is no God.
There's no God at all?
No.
Nobody looking down saying this is right, this is wrong?
No.
I was down for this interview and everything, and now I'm just like, I don't know, it's a bit just personal now.
Yeah, right, no problem. Hey, I appreciate the talk though, Brad. All right, man, enjoyed the time while you're here. Would you consider yourself to be a good person, John?
I would say I am.
Yeah?
Yeah. I am.
Oh, yeah.
Is there such thing as good and bad?
Oh, yeah, there is.
Okay. Now, for good, somebody may say good is helping little babies. Somebody else can come along and say, you know, good is actually torturing little babies. Which one is right? Because there seems to be both.
I think inflicting pain on any being is proper.
Now, is that an opinion, or is that like an objective truth? Because I'm along with you, right?
I think that's an objective truth.
But where does objectiveness come from if there is no God? But I'm saying if there's no God in charge, then aren't we just kind of making decisions?
We have an inherent sense of right and wrong. It just comes with the body.
So when we start talking about and defining what good is, you know, God has the 10 Commandments. Have you heard of the 10 Commandments?
I think I did.
You shall not lie, you shall not steal.
I heard about that. I don't know them, but I heard some of them.
One of them is you shall not steal. Have you ever stolen anything?
I think I did.
Have you ever stolen anything? And I'm not talking about women's hearts.
I was 17, I stole a little screwdriver, and I got to the front door and I go, I can't do this.
I can't do this.
I went and put it back.
Isn't that crazy, John? You start thinking about that. You remember all the way back to stealing just a simple $1 screwdriver, you know, many years ago, but it just stays with us. You know, our conscience, you know, the word conscience, if you break it down, the word con means with, science means knowledge, that every time we do something right or wrong, that we do it with knowledge that it's right or wrong. How many lies do you think you've told over the course of your life?
I think I did a few, but I can't remember them. They were not big ones, but for sure I did, I must say.
Okay.
I also did few, but I think so they aren't so bad.
So that is actually one of the 10 Commandments. Here's the last commandment that I'll look at. You shall not commit adultery, where you have sex outside of marriage.
Oh, yeah. I have a boyfriend for 7 years.
And so that's also known as, have you heard of the word fornication? Where you're not married, but you have sex with somebody before you're married, like your boyfriend.
Yeah.
So this is why I brought that up. The Bible is God's inspired word. I respect people that are atheists, people that are agnostics, that you want to adhere to the tenets of the flying spaghetti monster, somebody can do that. If somebody wants to be Mormon or Jehovah's Witness or part of the Baha'i faith, knock yourself out. At the same time, I would come along and say, well, there's still truth, right? In the same way I go, what is a woman? Well, you look up on Webster's dictionary what a woman is, it says, it's a female adult human being. Yeah. And we can try to change these words, but I think they still have meaning. Because I think truth is important. I would say that God is good.
Listen, if he's about to go on truth with God, he's going to lose me. Because it's faith-based. It's not truth-based. If you choose to believe it's true, it's because you have unwavering faith. I'm going to listen, open-minded. I'm not an atheist like John here, but I get where the guy's coming from. But if he's going to start jumping on truth in God, he may lose me a bit. So I may not comment on it for a while, guys. So we'll see. But for some of you who want to just listen to the guy talk, it might be a good time for you here.
Come along and say, well, there's still truth, right? In the same way I go, what is a woman? Well, you look up on Webster's dictionary what a woman is, it says, it's a female adult human being. And we can try to change these words, but I think they still have meaning. Because I think truth is important. I would say that God is good, he's holy, he's perfect. And when I started going through those commandments a little bit, what I wanted you to see and to recognize is that you and I are the exact same person. You're not better than me.
We're all flesh bags, water bags.
That's right. We're all flesh bags. That's a great way to put it. But if God judges us according to the commandments, because he's good, those commandments, they exist to show us that we're not good. So somebody doesn't have to murder 10 people to be a murderer. They don't need to lie 10 times to be a liar. They don't need to steal 10 things to be a thief. The whole idea is to demonstrate we're all bad. That we're not really good, right? But my point is, there is a God. And if God judges us, he would judge us based upon his commandments.
Yeah, I get it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm fine with it, but I'd say I'm an atheist, so I don't actually mind, whatever.
Yeah, you're a very respectful atheist, let me tell you.
I'm really open. I'm I don't know. You can talk to me, say whatever you want. And
Christian, atheist, Catholic, Jewish, whatever. Respect, I don't think, is a religious thing or any kind of thing. You should just kind of be respectful. If someone is talking to you, you respectfully listen or respectfully say, I'm not interested, and go about your way. There's no need to be a jerk about certain things. So, let's be more on the respect side of things, people.
I don't actually mind, whatever.
Yeah, you're a very respectful atheist, let me tell you.
I'm really open. I'm I don't know. You can talk to me, say whatever you want, and you won't offend me, and I won't even think bad of you. I would just this is your opinion.
Why we are friends.
Your Bible is a collection of myths and untruths, and it's got murder and mayhem and all sorts of things.
Yeah. And with that, I would just say that it's brutally honest, right? It's it's not hiding anything. So I've been studying the Bible, and I teach the Bible. As I've studied the Bible, it's not one book, it's 66 books. It authenticates itself. It's been under the microscope. Well, it's like this.
I disagree with that.
And this is what I mean by that. Maybe you'd accept this. If I were to tell you that I have the fastest truck in the world, and you go, really, Mark, you got the fastest truck in the world. Prove to me you have the fastest truck in the world. And I said, well, come on out to my truck, let me show you. And you were to say, wait a minute, prove to me you have the fastest truck in the world, but don't use your truck to prove to me you have the fastest truck in the world. That wouldn't make sense, right? So I would say that you can use the Bible to authenticate the Bible because it's 66 books, not one book. I would say because we broke God's law, and if God judges us, we would deserve to go to his prison, which is a place called hell. God, knowing that we would break his law, he had a plan. He sent his son Jesus, who was born of a virgin, who lived a perfect life. He died a cruel death. He says, whoever places their trust in me is given a free gift, which is everlasting life. But the problem is people need to recognize and realize that they have sinned, that they have broken the commandments. And then 3 days after Jesus died, he rose again from the grave.
This video.
And that's why I'm a Christian.
The girl who has said she believed in God. It's the two girls, one the atheist, one who believes in God. He's having his own conversation with the believer, it looks like.
An atheist can't find God for the same reason a bank robber can't find a police officer. Doesn't want him to exist. Because I can give you a lot of evidence and a lot of proof for the existence of God, but at the end of the day, it has to come down to, show me. Right. If I were to perform some sort of a magic trick, and you wouldn't have any idea how that's done, let's just suppose, I would say your naturalistic, materialistic mind would come from the position that would say, I don't know how you did that, but because we are materialistic beings, that there was some sort of sleight of hand, there was some sort of magic that took place, but you cannot accept the fact that it was a miracle, even though you would have no idea how that was done. So what's my point? My point is, no amount of miracles, like if you were to say, Mark, make God appear here right now, that it would fall into that same category. That it would be, I don't know who that is or what that
is. He's like, I can show you a miracle, but you're still going to believe it. And I was like, I don't know. We had this exact conversation. Steve, did you watch this video? I don't know, man.
That it would fall into that same category. That it would be, I don't know who that is or what that experience was.
Then you'd have power over God.
Right. That's John, man, it's a great point.
So that's my view concerning that. And then my final view concerning the abortion is that every person is valuable. Every human being, from the womb to the tomb, everybody's valuable. I may not accept maybe their views or their...
I mean, we have to take this guy's words and use that a couple of times. From the womb to the tomb, everyone is valuable. I love a good saying.
Womb to the tomb, everybody's valuable. I may not accept maybe their views or their whatever it is. We can agree to disagree and go get a cup of coffee. But I don't think anybody has the right to determine how long somebody is able to live. I think they should be able to have a voice in that conversation as well.
We need to have a return to Christ. You see, I've read the last chapter and I see that God wins. This is not my home. I'm just a foreigner passing through. I'm homesick for a home I've never been to. And as a sojourner passing through, I want to be able to speak up. I want to give hope to the hopeless and help to the helpless. I want to be a voice to the voiceless. Today's the day to tell other people to prepare for the last day, because today is the day of salvation. Death is going to come knocking at an inopportune time for every one of us. And when it comes knocking, you will answer that door, whether you're young or whether you're old. It doesn't matter who is for you if God is against you. And it doesn't matter who is against you if God is for you. Get right with your Maker while you still have time.
Well, thank you for talking. I really appreciate the conversation. John, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
It's an all-new season.
Now, I like the way he ended that. You know what I mean? Like you can, like I said, get right with God if that's your choice. But the respect thing, shaking everybody's hands, thanking you for the conversations, regardless of what you believe, how you believe it, all that stuff. Be respectful, be open-minded, talk to people, don't judge them. For a person like you and I, or for me, you don't judge someone, you're just a guy. For someone like Steve or a religious person, only God judges. Or for the criminal, they say only God can judge them too. So we'll see how that goes. But don't be a jerk. Talk to somebody, try to get their input, get their thoughts, be respectful. You might learn something. Like I said, I watched this video. I wasn't sure how it was going to go and had no idea it was going to be religious. It was gender fluid, and I thought, okay, we just did a podcast about that. And ended up turning into a religious conversation. Caught me off guard. I know some people are really going to like that. The video will be up on Rumble, on YouTube, social media, @n_discourse, Facebook. We're everywhere. Hope you guys have a good one. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching.